Today, I will show you how to trigger a scan from a portable Brother scanner and see the results of the scan from within a Flutter app. The package, called air_brother on pub.dev, and was developed by Dr. Frank Hernandez. The source code for this tutorial can also be found on his GitHub page, and a link to the full sample source code is available in this video's description. First, we would want to create a new Flutter project. Once that is done, we can add the air_brother package to our project by opening the terminal and running the flutter pub add air_brother. Once that has been added, let's get and download the package. Now, it is time to configure the platform-specific code. It works out of the box for Android, but for iOS, we will need to go to pub.dev and copy and paste some code that we will need to add to the info.p list. This just declares that our app needs access to the using the local network and informs the user that this is needed to be able to find available scanners. With the configuration out of the way, we are ready to begin coding our app. I'll clean up the code real quick from the default Flutter starter app. Now let's change the title of our app to reflect that this is a demo of the air_brother package. Then, we need a place to store the paths to all of the scans that we make, so we can create a list of strings and let's call it scan files. Let's also define a future to find compatible Brother scanners on our network. We'll call it fetch devices and set the timeout for 5 seconds. Now for the user interface of the app, we can have an app bar that displays the title. We'll also want a floating action button with a search button. When we press on it, we'll call the fetch device command that we created previously. For the body of the scaffold, we will start with a future builder to be able to run the future of finding the nearby scanners. While it is completing the scan and the connection state is waiting, we can let the user know that the app is searching for nearby scanners in our Wi-Fi network. If none were found, we should let the user know that as well. If this is our first time using the scanner, then we will scan for nearby Brother scanners and display a list of them to the user. If the user taps on one of the listed scanners, we want it to scan and then display whatever is in the scanner. We should also wrap that in some padding to make it look nice. So now we need a function to be called when we want to scan something. We need to pass in a reference to which scanner the user selected from the list view called a connector. We need to store the paths of the files that get created when we scan the images, so we can display those images later. We'll call that out scan paths. Next we should configure any settings we want to set for the scanner, for example the paper size of what we are scanning. Since I'll demonstrate using a business card, I'll set the document size to a media size of business card landscape. Now all that's left to do is actually initiate the scan by awaiting the command connector.perform scan, passing in the specific set of scan parameters that we set, and the place to store the paths of the files that get created. To update the UI, we call setState and refresh the list of outscanned paths. This will change our list view from showing a list of available scanners to showing a list of the scanned images previews. We should now modify our app's display logic to display a list view of the images that we have scanned now that we have some scans, so we'll add an if statement to show that if our scanned files list is not empty. And we'll need to import the Dart.io package to be able to work with the file class. And that's it. We should now be able to run our app and take our scan. Now that we have our app running on a physical device, you will need to first open your phone's Wi-Fi settings and connect your phone to the Wi-Fi network being broadcast from the scanner you want to connect to. You should now be able to see your scanner in the list inside your app. Once you tap on the name of the scanner, it should initiate the scan. We should immediately be able to see a preview of the scan displayed directly in our app. And that is how easy it is to integrate document scanning into a Flutter app with the air_brother package and a wireless Brother scanner. Thanks for watching.